to the park, I'll say it again, we get to the park and we do a sit down for a minute. Then if y'all want to go into that, no problem. Just in case we don't get to that tomorrow. Even if we do get to that tomorrow, there's more information on it. I'll never be able to give it all to you in a day.
Yeah.
Okay? This here alone is a 2 to 3 year course. Okay, permaculture. Okay, horticulture. So today you're going to learn the basics, and the basics, trust me, is going to be enough for you, enough food for you. And then we're going to sex magic infusion. First thing I like to do is most people look to the ground for their food. We're going to go to a high vibration and begin to look up for your food. Okay? The higher the food, the higher the vibration. That's why you got the roots in the ground, things that come, they're all good. But, you know, the trees is your main food. Even most of the trees, the leaves can be eaten. We know apples and pears and so on. First of all, y'all can finish your guilty. First of all, give a shout out to the school. What's the school, my brother? Ellis School?
Yeah.
Let's give a shout out to Dooley, to the brother here, the cameraman. I don't know you guys' names.
Alex.
Yeah, what is it?
Alex.
Alex.
Yeah.
Okay.
Brother Mo.
And Brother Monk, and
Mo.
for everyone here that showed up today, give you all a big shout out. But importantly, that this school, what's the name of it?
Ellis.
Say it again.
Ellis.
Ellis had the nerve to actually take their children and instead of giving them a little children's book or school book to teach them about plants, actually had hands-on work and got this out here. That is truly amazing. That don't happen in New York. And what's good about that is that Public Law 98-88 says that the primary education of a child belongs to a parent, not the school. You know, a lot of people depend on the schools. That's not their job. That's the law. Okay? But if we look, brothers, well, let's start over here. It's not fair because everything's labeled. Okay? Normally, if you're already eating greens and you're a vegetarian, the only reason why you would eat spinach would be for iron, for thyroidism. Usually a lot of females have that, hyper or hypo. That is excellent for that. Although it's not a real vegetable, it's a hybrid. Most are, but that's on a low on the totem pole as a hybrid. And if you're healthy, I don't recommend it. But if you need iron, men, when you have maybe erectile dysfunctions and stuff like that, that would be good. All right? So those are your, as they say, the spinach. It gets a lot bigger. There are different varieties. We know what kale look like. Everybody know what kale look like, right? That's the new thing to eat. Mustards are excellent. They have one mustard that grows in the wild. We might see it. And it's called garlic mustard. You pick it up and you smell it. You'll smell like a garlicky smell to it. But the taste is awesome. The taste is very awesome. Now I'm just giving you some, because this is here, I'm talking about this. But the first thing we want to talk about is the spirit of plants. The energies that they carry and how to approach them. Definitely don't walk up and grab something off the ground and say, I'm going to go heal myself. Definitely don't do that, okay? So the first thing you do is first communicate with the bigger elements of trees, get your whole auric field in that position to be able to communicate with smaller plants. Because healthy plants, if you treat them the wrong way, become toxic, poisonous plants if you treat them the wrong way. Okay? So they all have a spirit. And in Celtic magic, which is the oldest Irish magic, which was us, the Celtics, the gnomes and salamanders control this energy. Salamanders is anything that's like a worm or a snake kind of energy. Worm or snake kind of energy. Worms are good. Why? Anybody think they know why worms would be good in your garden or your lawn?
Aerate the soil.
They what?
Aerate the soil.
They what? Aerate. Okay, that's a good one. Yeah, they keep the soil moving. Constant movement. That's energy, like the ocean. If the ocean stops moving, okay, Earth stops spinning. All right, so worms are really good for gardens and just for the lushness of your whatever land you may be owning. But if you look on the outskirts of this gate right here, you see those white flowers? Those are dandelion. They work well with dandelion. Don't spray your dandelion. Don't get rid of it. It is one of the most healthiest ground foods on earth. Every part of it is edible. The root, the leaves, the stem, the flower, and even when the flower turns white, those are the seeds. Okay? If you have any problems at all in your body whatsoever, get that plant. Unfortunately, it only grows from mid-April to now, mid-May. So you only got once a year, and that is with everything you see here. Some grow all year round, and some do not. 2 words I want to tell you right now. We're going to talk about it later, and one of the words is deciduous. Everybody say deciduous.
Deciduous.
And then you have the opposite of that, which is called evergreen.
The green.
Deciduous means that in the wintertime, when the earth inhales, and all that wind takes all the leaves off the trees, when that happens, the deciduous trees loses their leaves. But while they're losing, they're not dying. Those leaves are not dying. Because the time to be around those trees is when they are orange. That's the sacral plexus, that's creative energy. Just walking amongst those powerful energies, orange trees, which is only once a year, which is all these things I'm talking about happens once a year. Okay? So you have, if you don't know about it, you gotta wait a whole year. Say you want to get healed with a birch tree, which heals all the limbs and organs in your body. You gotta wait a whole year because you didn't know. And hopefully you'll survive that time. But we still see dandelion coming up out of the ground, all edible. Of course, monitor where you get it. There's energies. For instance, you might see a dead tree with a lot of dandelion around it. Do not approach. Okay? Dead tree means there's some negative energy there. Very could be deadly. Okay, so you got to monitor those things too. 95% of all plants are edible. 100% of all plants can be used as medicine. Okay, so Europeans are, poison ivy is toxic to Europeans, but not to you. Okay, make sure you understand that. So we believe, oh, don't mess with poison ivy. Why? Because who told you that? Somebody told you that, right? Your job is to go, your job is not even to listen to me. Your job is to get out there and test. You can take a piece of anything and taste it, it won't hurt you. If you break it in half, I don't care what it is in the plant world, and taste it on your tongue and see what it does, the reaction, it will not hurt you. Your tongue might get swollen, it might itch, it might be sour, it might be bitter. All mean different things. Okay? Bitter is my favorite because that purifies the blood, which contacts with the heart, everything really. So the bitter is dandelion. Hopefully we'll see reishi mushrooms. There are quite a few things that you could eat that are very bitter. Tree bark, a friend of mine named Cootie Duckett has a whole line of wood root products that you've probably seen in the health food store. And he knows a lot about that too. Okay? You can actually boil certain woods like birch and so forth. Oak, not so much. This is over here, these are oaks. This whole section is an oak tree. Oak trees. Oak trees grow to be at least, I don't know, matter of fact, I'm not even going to quote a size on it because there are probably some bigger than what I could say somewhere, But this is a river oak. Most of them are river oaks, and they're one of the most powerful trees on earth as far as energy. They're yang in nature. So if you have whoever is on this tour, on your chart, you'll see oak. You want to write next to it what I just said. Yang, male energy. And that male energy represents power and strength. That is the spirit of the oak tree. That's the spirit of the oak tree. Females, when you make friends with an oak tree, this is the oak tree, right? And I'm walking up to it. And I'm just going to kind of like just stand in the auric field of it for a little while. You know what auric field is because the shadow of its leaves represent that. See the shadow on the That's the auric field of the tree. Okay? Which we call auric field, which is actually an energy field. Look at the last chart in your paper where you see a tree with dantians on it. Everyone see that? You have a chart there with a tree on it. It has 3 dantians. Right. Yes. Everyone got that? Those dantians,
What does that mean?
those are energy centers.
So like chakras?
No, the chakras are different. Chakras are glands. Dantians are more like energy fields, like the whole torso is, I believe it's orange, I don't remember the color. But the whole torso is a dantian. From the top of the torso to the up part of the head is the first dantian, and the third dantian down here. Which trees have those dantians? You can only really function with the lower dantian dealing with a tree, especially a 200 to 300-year-old oak tree. I mean, this tree done saw your ancestors' ancestors. Okay, this tree was planted before slavery. That's the kind of information that it has. You ever see the sitting man sitting on a rock? Rocks have information. Maybe you got a test you got to take. Go sit on a rock under a tree. It's just that simple. Nothing really hard about anything I'm going to tell you, except for remembering it. When we get to where there are rocks, you will see, like this is a made-up rock, basically. This was part of some type of building cycle that was going on, looks like in the late 1800s. I'm not sure, but it looks that way based on the different rock formations to strengthen it. That's how they built it during their time. Each layer represents information. Each layer, just like your crystals, just like your stones, all of these rocks represent that. Okay? Same thing with trees, but trees are closer to you. In Celtic magic, trees are supposed to be your ancestors. I know we love the Egyptians and the Dogon and all that, but them niggas ain't older than a damn tree. Ain't no way, you know? You got trees on Earth that are, the oldest tree on Earth is over 100,000 years old. And they don't know, they're just guessing. I work at the Botanical Garden, and we have a slab of wood that we set up on the wall. It goes like about that high. And you just go ahead and try to count all them rings in there. You know what I'm saying? So those rings represent a certain amount of years, like a clam's shell. When you go to the ocean and you pick up a clam off the ocean, off the beach, it has all these lines on it. That is telling you the age of that clam, how long the water's been, or how long it's lived in that particular area where that water is. Most living crustaceans have those rings. So if you see those rings, then I would advise you, if you feel like you want to count them and try to understand some things, like I can see here how agriculture took place for at least 2,000 years in this whole area until finally buildings came up. Okay? Because why? Because trees don't grow separately, like they just grow in bunches everywhere. They don't leave a space for that tree and a space for that tree. Man does that. Okay? So looking at the age of the tree and the spaces between those trees and the hill and all of that, you're talking to agriculture. That's conditioned to look the way it is. All right? That's for persons buying houses, looking at land to build a house and all that. Never buy a house with a tree in front of the house. All right? If
Why?
you do,
Why?
because if it's on the side of the house and it falls, you'll be all right. If it's in the back of the house and it falls, you'll be okay. But in the front of the house, you're in trouble.
Mine's already fell.
It fell in the front?
It fell, but I wasn't in trouble.
Okay, good. So don't put trees, don't grow. It's good to grow a tree because it lengthens your life. Go to your tree store or wherever you go. Get a nice little sapling. Saplings are, everybody staying with me? Okay? Saplings are baby trees, under 20 feet. Saplings are baby trees under 20 feet. And saplings are what you work with. Don't go working with, you can spend time with these big boys. It's okay, but not a long time because they'll raise your blood pressure too high because it has too much energy. It's just too big. The oldest person here is no more than what, 80, 90, and I know nobody here is even that. That tree, how old do you think that tree is? Okay, so you're dealing with an energy was so powerful even before you were born. Okay, and it done seen all kind of things that you will never see. And that's the trees here in Boston. Now, if we start to head out to California, to the sequoias and the redwoods, nobody knows. They're so old that they just now started allowing people to walk through there again, but it was opening up ancient DNA in people. That's what that does. That's why you'll see in the tree, the blood of the tree, which is amber. The trees, sequoia trees and redwoods, the blood of those trees is amber. Okay? And sometimes you'll see insects and stuff stuck in that amber on the tree and so forth. Those trees are extremely, now remember, sequoia is named after the sequoias. Okay, the sequoias. Yosemite Park is named after the Yosemite, indigenous Yosemite people, which they gave a charge over to the Moors. When they saw the Moors, or melanated people, and they saw those afros that they had, which were the Buffalo Soldiers, what we call the Buffalo Soldiers. They got their name from those indigenous folks based on that hair, and that's how they became known as Buffalo Soldiers, because you have the same hair as the buffalo. So that's why when you see the Indian head nickel with tupi on it, with a buffalo on the back, both of those were melanated beings. Both were, I'll use the term black, because the word black means power. Okay? Some people might argue with me on that one. Oh, the Moors, you ain't black. Yes, I am. Black is talk, because black is powerful, nigga. What's stronger than black?
Okay.
Tell me. Black in it? You can white shit out, but you can really black shit really out. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, nah. In which you don't really see black, to be honest with you. You don't really see the color black out here. It's very rare. Most of your clothes, yeah. You said something?
No, I'm saying you said such a color.
There isn't such a color. You have jet black, blue black, all these different types of black. Jet black is actually brown, but if you have some clothes at home, or whatever you have that's made out of cloth, take it outside and leave it outside for, say, I don't know, 2 weeks. It ain't gonna be black no more, because it was never black. It was and you know, scientists say that black is devoid of color. Well, how come if I take yellow, blue, red, and color over each other, how come it becomes black? You see? It's like they don't want things to make sense. They don't want it to make sense to tell. If I were to stand here today and tell you that right now it's Sunday, who would believe me?
I mean, I would have said
Very smart. Very smart. Today is Sunday.
The sun is out.
Okay? Because there is no such thing as Saturday. You can't show it to me. You can't prove it to me. Nothing. You just say it's a planet somewhere. But here's a God right in your face every day.
God.
And you decide, hey, let me just worship a false God anywhere. That's far beyond that nigga. Rather than that 7-day cycle of that one day, which is the Sunday. That comes up every day. It feeds you and does this. It does all the things it needs to do for your melanin. But let's call it Saturn. All right? So your thinking goes along with the health, with the food that you eat. The food that you eat is only representing what's in your mind. That's why when you're at the movies, you want popcorn and soda. It's you only eat in the mind. And that's why, and I'm hoping that most of y'all, pretty sure a lot of you are already on a very high vibration and know some of the things I'm saying, but I want everyone to be able to see things that way. So when you meet someone, or this person meets someone, or she meets someone, and they take out a hamburger, you already know what they're thinking. You know what people are thinking about what they put in their mouth. Because what you put in your mouth represent your thinking.
Real steak.
Huh?
Real steak. Said our
Right,
ancestors-
and
yeah.
I don't mean to go too deep, but I'm gonna go a little bit deep on this one. Go a little bit deep on this one. Meat, bread, and beans all have demons. And that's why everybody's sick. Those are called corpse demons. They feed, when that meat dies, first of all, ain't none of y'all gonna go kill a pig, start biting on that meat. Nobody here. Huh?
I said I love beans and bread.
Beans, if you go eat some beans right now and tell me how you feel afterwards, so the chi in your body gets stagnated right here. Boom. You don't want to do nothing else.
What about my body?
That's a demon.
This is me.
Huh?
This is meat right here.
Yeah.
So what about my body?
What about your body?
You said meat, bread.
No, meat. Meat.
Meat. This is meat.
Yeah, but don't eat it. Don't eat it. Meat, the reason why meat has, if you take a piece of meat right now, a dead rotten meat, and put it on the ground right there, you actually see the demons coming out.
Really?
You actually see the parasites coming out.
But what's meat?
Meat is flesh.
But what's flesh?
Flesh is thoughts of animals.
Okay, I grew up in Trinidad, in the jungle, climbing coconut trees, mango trees, orange trees, eating wild fruits.
Beautiful.
Eating the one that is domesticated, the wild ones also, like the Manikou fig and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And all the different little sourness and mangoes. The
My favorite.
The emperor fruit. Because mango is the emperor fruit.
It's beautiful.
That's what they said. I didn't say.
There's so
No,
many.
there's a mango.
Yeah.
There's mango calabash, mango dobaba, mango
Yeah.
bear, mango teen, mango dudus, and then there's a mango called mango lion.
Wow.
The mango
You
lion.
got one for me, brother?
Is it? The mango lion sometimes could be as big as her head when it grows. Now, when you take your knife and you cut a slice, you know what I say?
What?
Give me a piece of that meat. From the slice of that mango, we call that meat.
Yes, I understand.
I'm just saying, so the term
No. I
you know,
totally understand.
so, but that's not dead meat.
It's okay. It's like sometimes I'll use words like nigger, black. and-
Me too.
But we don't. We understand
but
what's going on.
I'm just trying to clear for you because
Yeah.
there's some people that are so finicky.
Right,
Like
right,
I'm just
right.
explaining that about meat.
Yeah.
And they might say, well, what
that's
is guys
meat too.
talking about? Because I'm saying we consider that, oh, give me a piece of that meat. And
Right.
that big piece of mango, that face where you can take a spoon and eat it like a dessert.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I understand.
I think he's
Sometimes
talking
when we-
about dead animals.
No, I know. I am fully aware.
Sometimes when I grew up in New York. I go into school, all kind of different schools.
So you know all the Western Indian
And I got
stuff,
all
that
kind of
product.
degrees in different things. And I learned one thing, well, two things actually. First thing I learned was when you get knowledge, you find out you don't know nothing.
Thank you. We don't know nothing.
The second thing is that the English language is the worst language on earth.
That's right.
And in Canada, there's a few states in Canada that I went to when I went to Nova Scotia that banned it. And they're using archetypes and symbols. I could stand here and say, I'm not going out that gate. What did I just say? I took a knot, tied up everything that I can do, which I can walk out that gate. But when I said knot, I put a knot in it. Now, you use the word knot, you knot up everything else you just said.
Yeah.
Okay? Words like, so it's a whole dictionary of bad words that bring a curse on you. Okay? So we got a lot of research to do, we got a lot of learning to do. Remember what I just told you about that sun? Today is not Saturday. Stop doing that. Yes, you have to function like this, you've been trained, but show me Saturday. Where that? Where any of those days at? There's only one day you can show me.
Every day. Right?
What day you going to show me?
Because they're all actually
Where it's right there. You see? So even starting with the time, you need to know what time it is because these things work on that time, moon cycles and sun cycles.
our bodies.
Okay? Now there is a Saturn. But you don't overtake that baby right in front of me. Okay? So there's only one day of the week. This is called the incense tree. When you, whatever rituals you're doing, and you burn incense, why are you going to get a stick from some dude off the street? You don't know where the hell that shit is and where it come from? Why don't you get your own incense? What's going on? You want your energy, your thoughts to be in that, not someone else's. When you burn that smoke and blow it north. Their petition is being answered. They made the incense. You didn't make it. So we're losing the concept of these things, of how they really work. It works with your energy. This is the incense tree, and it is a very powerful ritualistic shamanistic incense used for incense. Of course, almost all of these trees, when you're dealing with spruce and pine and so forth, are medicinal and edible. Okay? Some of them, I don't know about these, but there are some that we're going to look at that freshen the breath, strengthen the heart. When we get to the pine trees, why do they call pine trees evergreen?
They live all throughout the winter.
They live forever. Wow, that was good.
Is this 100%
I gotta try some of
edible?
that.
100% edible.
The whole tree.
The whole tree. All the spruces and all the pines are edible.
That's what I thought.
If you are ill with anything in your life, these are the trees you make tea out of. But don't go by what I'm saying here. You got to get you this book and other books. Continue your research. Ask the tree first.
Oh, shit.
Ask the tree first.
New York City tree. That's
In my head? Can I
No, say you got to say to the tree, "Can I have one of your leaves?"
have one of your leaves?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Right, it's a living creature. Make sure this is just a tree book, but there are other books on what you can eat and so forth, the Native American names, and on and on and on. But you can get one. This is the trees of New York, so you can get one for Boston, New York, wherever. But I know in New York is the capital of trees. All right, we can pretty much look at those to see that they're edible. There's some type of green. I don't know exactly what type of green it is, but they are edible. But what I want to show you is this. All right, don't touch anything until I see it.